This is the best thing that Milrow's done all year. The 4 touchdowns on the ground and the 20 carries for $155. That's Jalen Milrow football. Pile driving, woo! Your head into him. Like your boy White Randy in 7th grade PE class. Okay, there we go. What am I doing? I need to put on a shirt. Okay, there we go. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I got so much to say about this LSU-Alabama game. But the first thing I want to say, because it's on my mind, is I can't tell you enough how proud I am of this Alabama team. I really can't emphasize that enough. And I'm sure I'm going to talk about it in just a second. But I just want to start on by saying that this was a big win. LSU, arguably, not arguably, look at the stats and numbers. They had the best offense heading into this game in the country. Not one of the best, the best. They have arguably what I think is one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the country in Jaden Daniels. And we went out there and we won by double digits. And really probably should have won by 17 or 21. What about this? Will Reichard, our field goal kicker, ain't missed in 28 attempts. He's the silent assassin. He misses 2 chip shots. We'll get to that in just a second. I'm extremely proud of the offense, number one. The defense, the way we responded in the second half was awesome. Yeah, we gave up a lot of points in the first half. We gave up that late touchdown in the first half and early touchdown in the second half. But sometimes you just got to tip your cap to your opponent because LSU's got a heck of an offense. They're going to get theirs. But the defense stepped up. We had that interception Terrion Arnold had. And yeah, Jaden Daniels got hurt. I'll address that in just a second. But the main point, I got to bring out the whiteboard for this. I guess this is the last time we used it. Was the Colorado game last week. Because I got to write down the biggest stat of the day. Wow, the more I look at this, it's actually kind of mind-blowing at how even these numbers were. Let me get it nice and center for you guys. Yeah, you should be able to see that. So, on the left here, we got Jalen Milrow. 15 for 23. Yeah, you can see that. Ain't too sloppy. 15 for 23. Pretty good. I'd take that as a Bama fan. Like, for example, say I were to show you this before the game. Milrow, 15 for 23, 219 passing yards, 0 touchdowns through the air, but also 0, I'm writing it up here, 0 INTs. And more importantly, 0 TOs. That's the X factor. If Milrow ain't turning the ball over, Alabama's going to be extremely hard to beat. Let me make that clear right now. It is rare for Milrow. Like as an Alabama fan, or if you watch Alabama football, you already have to know heading into the game. You have to chalk it down. Milrow's going to have 1 interception or 1 costly turnover, if not 2. You're just going to have to live with it because he's going to make up for it. You can hate on Milrow all you want, but he makes up for it. He's our best option. But we know that. He's the guy. He's the guy. On the flip side for Jaden Daniels here, he got hurt. 15 for 24, similar to Milrow. Milrow was 15 for 23, guys. He also had 219. Is that right? Yeah, just double checking here because it is mind-blowing how similar stats are. Both quarterbacks played out of their mind. Jaden Daniels, wow. Take a look at this. Well, but first off, before I show you this crazy stat from both guys, rushing yards. I was watching game with one of my buddies. Great guy. You know who he is. Just awesome dude, awesome person. Really cool Bama fan. He's just like me. He doesn't get too high on the highs and doesn't get too low on the lows. But we was telling each other, I was really telling him, man, we can't stop Jaden Daniels from running. We couldn't stop him in the first half, couldn't stop him in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, we kind of contained it, but he also got hurt. Like I said, I'll address that in just a second. And the thing was, we had a quarterback spy, and he was so elusive and such a dual threat. He was just beating the quarterback spy. And I'm sitting here, I was sitting there with my hands in my head trying to think, what do we do? What could we do? If I was the coach, what would I do? We got the quarterback spy out there. We can't stop the guy. He was unreal. Jaden Daniels played a heck of a game. And LSU still somehow lost by double digits. 14 points. And it really felt like a 20-point game at the end there. Like I was saying, though, tell my buddy, man, I don't know what we're going to do. And look at this. How many rushing yards do you think Jaden Daniels had? We'll put it under here. Yeah, you'll be able to see it. How many yards do you think he had? He had 11 carries. This is rushes, by the way. Wow. 163 yards. Circle it. Do whatever you want. That is unbelievable. Normally when a quarterback like Johnny Manziel, Cam Newton, Tim Tebow, anybody, elusive quarterback, the magic number is 100 rushing yards. If you get over 100 rushing yards as a quarterback, you're going to beat Alabama. But guess what? Jalen Milroe, how many rushing yards do you think he had? He had way more carries. He had 20 carries. There was some sacks thrown in here. Remember, in college football, guys, oh, you're over here. In college football, guys, sacks count as a carry. But anyways, he had 20 carries for $155. Yet again, similar. Extremely similar. They played identical. It was almost like a carbon copy paste. But Milroe, I'll write it down here, running out of room, had 4. Circle that. Yeah, you can see it. I'm running out of room, I really am. 4 touchdowns on the ground. And that, draw the biggest arrow in the world to it. That right there, this, zoom in, Matt, when you're ready in this. Best editor on the planet, by the way. This is the best thing that Milroe's done all year. The 4 touchdowns on the ground and the 20 carries for $155. That's Jalen Milroe football. Only throwing the ball 20, 25 times a game. That's the sweet spot. You don't want him getting into the 30s. That's too much, too dangerous. 20, or really 15 to 25 times a game. But also running the ball 10, 15, sometimes 20 times a game. That's the recipe. I don't know why. And all Bama fans, if you're a Bama fan, you know this. They've been saying this, and when I say that, I'm talking about Bama fans, been saying this all year long. Why isn't Tommy Rees, offensive coordinator for Bama, not utilizing Jalen Milroe on the ground? Because he's a weapon. He is a dual threat quarterback. We should have been using him this way. I'm not complaining because we're still figuring ourselves out. And that's the scary part about Bama, guys. I've been telling y'all, we're just going to get better and better and better. We're trying to find our identity. I think we're getting there. And that's the thing, we're trying to fill out, okay, what plays does Milroe like? Remember, Milroe's still a young guy. He's technically a redshirt sophomore. A lot of people have forgotten about that. Jane Daniels here, I think he's on isn't he a 5th-year senior? I could be wrong on that. I think he played 2 or 3 years at Arizona State, now 2 years at LSU. We're figuring out what Milroe likes. If we keep this up, we're going to be hard to beat. But the point is, in all this reason, I've written all this down. As you can look at all, I know it's a big jumbled mess, but both quarterbacks played out of their mind. And like I said, I'm running out of room here. I guess I'll write it up here. Milroe, QBR. I'll write it above his name. QBR, which is a big stat. Oh, a blistering 96.3. Yeah, that's pretty dang good, I'd say. And guess what? Jane Daniels' QBR was better. Like I said, guys, these quarterbacks couldn't have played too much better. And he had an interception, too. 97.6. So a whole 1.3 better than Milroe. And for those of you who don't know, QBR is based on a scale of 1 to 100. I'm just going to set the phone down for a second. Sometimes in life, you just got to sit back and admire greatness. They couldn't have played too much better. It was really just a great performance by the quarterbacks, and I really want to get up here and say that. I thought Jane Daniels did everything he could, and Milroe, it goes back to this. If Milroe plays good/great, Alabama's going to win. If he plays bad, they're going to lose. He's the X factor. Now, let me get this out the way. We're done with the whiteboard. I know that was probably the most we've ever written on the whiteboard, but there's a lot of stats. Now, the Alabama defense, address the elephant in the room. Yeah, they gave up a lot of yards. How many yards did we give up, actually? Maybe we didn't give up that many. I assume we gave up about 400 yards. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, we gave up 478 yards. It was a lot. We gained 507. The third down was better because we was 11 for 14 on third downs. LSU was 4 for 9. But my point is, we made stops when we needed to. LSU didn't, and that was the difference in this game. We got a couple of stops. This Alabama team last year, and you can even use the LSU game for example, they couldn't get stops. And that's why I love this Alabama team. Because our defense is better, and I love having a good defense because you can rely on them a little bit. Sure. And I don't even know if I'd say we have a top 10 defense. We don't have the greatest defense. We don't have a defense like Georgia. I'll be the first to tell you that. But we're better than last year, and that's all that matters to me because we can get stops. Jalen Milroe, And I said this in the preview. Jalen Milroe ain't he ain't built to beat you in a shootout. My apologies. But in this game, that's what happened. It was pretty much a shootout, and Jalen Milroe, he just played out of his mind. He did. Can't tell you enough how proud I am of this team. I guess I got to address this too. I wasn't going to, but you got to address it. Jaden Daniels, he gets hit by Dallas Turner. The Gary and Vern were like, oh, that's targeting, that's targeting. I'll be honest with y'all. I didn't think it was targeting. It was unnecessary roughness. I'm cool with the 15-yard penalty. But why every time there's a big hit or there's a questionable hit, we immediately say targeting, targeting, targeting? I hate that. I think everybody's forgotten that targeting is just supposed to be a vicious hit, helmet-to-helmet hit. Just because you hit the quarterback in the chest and you fall to the ground with them, I mean, come on now. To me, that ain't targeting. Targeting's when you actually mean to hurt somebody, like you are pile driving, boom, your head into them. Like your boy White Randy in 7th grade PE class. White Randy used to do targeting because back then, when he was growing up, or when I was growing up, because I was White Randy, they didn't call it like they do now. But now they call it, so you can't hit him like that. Dallas Turner hit it, whatever. If you wouldn't say it's a dirty hit, I don't know. I don't think it's a dirty hit. Sure, like I said, unnecessary roughness, but dirty hit, come on, man. But it did knock Jaden Daniels out of the game, and I guess if you want to use that as a scapegoat as to why LSU lost, you can, but I'm pretty sure, weren't they down by 14 at that time? Or was it 7? No, yeah, it was 14. They were down by 14 when he got knocked out, and they lost by 14. Okay, so what was it? You wasn't going to come back. Number one, you weren't stopping Alabama. The only time Alabama got stopped is when their field goal kicker missed 2 field goals. Reichard. I'm finna start calling you Richard. What are you doing, buddy? We might have needed those, and we're going to need those later in the future. So we didn't get stopped, and the hit really didn't matter. Game was already over. LSU put in their backup quarterback, and yeah, rest is history. We won the game. Believe we got Kentucky next week. Don't care. I ain't going to try to look too far ahead. We'll do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. For now, tonight, and Sunday, we're going to celebrate this win. It was a big win. A lot of people was doubting us, not me. I picked us to win this game, and I'm proud. I am. This Alabama team, we've overcame a lot this year, shown great resiliency. And this was a big game because also rematch. This year, in the rematch games, we're 2-0. Remember, last year, Tennessee beat us. This year, we beat them. Last year, LSU beat us on the game-winning walk-off 2-point conversion. This year, we beat LSU. All in all, I'm just really pleased. And yeah, I'm going to get back to watching this Colorado-Oregon State game. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But